we're taking a little road trip. We're going down to River Landing, one of my favorite places ever, in the big city of Wallace, North Carolina, and we're heading down there for our first tournament of the season. This is called the Tar Heel Cup, which is an annual friendly competition between the Carolinas Golf Association and the Carolinas section of the PGA. So basically, 8 amateurs face off against 8 professionals in a 2-day Ryder Cup style format. I will detail the event a little bit later on in the video, but that's what we're doing. So we got a long, fun, exciting weekend ahead of us. So stay tuned and wish me luck. 3.5 hours later, we finally arrive. We pull up to the big, beautiful entrance. We tell the guard the secret password. The gates open up and we are officially on property. There's something I love about this drive. For whatever reason, I always think about Magnolia Lane. It is Masters Week though, so that could have something to do with it. We pull into the parking lot. Look at that clubhouse. Let me bust out the drone and I'll show you around. It's Sunday morning, the day before the tournament. I meet up with my coach, Larry George, who happens to be the director of golf and general manager here at River Landing. He is a legend within the golfing community, and I'm very lucky that he's been around since day one, playing an extremely influential role in my entire golfing career. We assess the course conditions and map out our strategy for tomorrow, and along the way, LG does some final course preparation, always going above and beyond to make sure everybody's taken care of. We wrap up our practice round and drop the cart off in the cart barn to call it a night, but not before we head to the putting green for our traditional putting contest. It never matters what's on the agenda when I'm here for the weekend. We will always find time to duke it off with the flat sticks. There's always 9 holes cut on this putting green, so we play 9-hole matches. Each hole is a par 2. Putting order is based on honors. I make a great putt here on the last hole to force a playoff. In the event of a playoff, we alternate between the last 2 holes. The first one to make it wins, and bang, LG buries it in the playoff to take down the first game, but I bounce back nicely with a birdie on the first hole of the next game, and we're off to the races. For each new game, we reverse the hole order compared to how we played it in the previous game. We're coming down the stretch here, and I still have a 1-shot lead. Larry needs to make this putt to force a playoff, and it's no good. We square things up and off in the opposite direction we go. We've got time for just one more game before the sun goes down. Neither one of us surprisingly makes a birdie this entire game, which is quite rare. So we end up going to a playoff, and on the very first hole, I drain it to win the last 2 games and to win the session overall 2-1. I'm feeling great and on top of the world because Larry is the best putter that I've ever played with, but there's no time to celebrate before I get some really bad news. The CGA team captain Rusty sends out a note to the team, and he decides to pull an audible on the team uniform tomorrow. Deviating from the original plan of wearing navy pants both days, we're now wearing khaki tomorrow. And that's a pretty serious issue because I didn't bring any khakis. So we're off on a late night run to go find some, and that's the issue with Wallace. There are very few stores around and even fewer open at this hour on a Sunday, but there is a Walmart. So we head in there to check out the selection. If I wore a 46-inch waist and needed some heavy-duty pants for construction, instruction, I'd have all the choices in the world, but that is not the case. I'm about to give up all hope and just accept the fact that I'm gonna be the one guy wearing a mismatched uniform, and on my final pass through, I find a pair of pants stuffed deep into the corner. They seem to be of decent material and in my size. Thank you, George, for coming in the clutch. No matter how I play tomorrow, I know I'll at least look athletic. On my way out, I see this floor cleaning machine completely driving by itself, which I thought was crazy. We head back home and we call it a night. The time is here, it's game day, I'm stoked. We don't tee off till noon, so there's ample time to prep. So I load up the cart and take it to the back of the range to get dialed in and warmed up. After that, we head inside to pick up our team uniform, compliments of Holderness and Bourne. Thank you guys for the fresh threads. They'll look really good in my Walmart pants. We suit up and snap a quick team photo. Today is a 4-ball match play event, so I team up with David Gies, and we're set to take on Matt Vick and Corey Schneider, two really good players who always seem to be in contention in every event that they play in. And by the way, Corey qualified to play in the Wells Fargo next month, so we're in for a tough match. So we head to the tee, and not surprisingly, both teams come out swinging, recording a birdie on the first 3 holes. We're all square through 5 until we get to 6. The pros hit it to 8 feet and drain it for birdie. We're now down 1. We trade pars on 7 and 8 until we get to 9, where we make birdie to square up the match. But that didn't last long. Matt drains a 20-footer on the par 3 10th for birdie, making it his 3rd consecutive birdie on par 3s, which is pretty darn good. We have the next 3 holes until we get to 14, which is a pretty cool hole to share. Normally, you play it right down the middle of the fairway, but this weekend they moved the tees up to make this hole drivable, which means you can now take it down this line. It's definitely a risk-reward situation because from an aerial view, you can see that bunker to the right of the green. It's not as close as it looks. It's about 40 yards from the green, so if you put your ball into this bunker, it makes for a pretty difficult shot. We all go for the green and miss that greenside bunker, but we fail to get up and down. The pros do. They make birdie, putting them 2 up with 4 to play. We're all in great shape off the tee on 15. Being 2 down with 4 to play, we felt like we had to make a move, so we both go for it. It backfires. We both end up making bogey, allowing the pros to win the hole with a par. Both pros found trouble on 16. We were able to take the hole down with a par. We're now 2 down with 2 to play, and we're hanging on for dear life. We get to 17, the pros are in for par, forcing us to make our birdie. It burns the edge. We end up having 17, resulting in a 2-1 loss, and I won't lie, it kind of stings a little. With our match over, we post up on 18 to cheer on the AMs and the matches behind us, who did not disappoint, having the second match and winning the 3rd and 4th, giving the AMs a 2.5 to 1.5 point lead after day 1. That night, we had dinner and drinks at the clubhouse bar. We watched the NCAA championship game, and yes, I sat directly next to the trophy to give myself some added motivation for the singles matches tomorrow. The final day is here. I couldn't be more amped. I've got the trophy in my sights. We're set to take on Kyle Akins out of Bent Winds Country Club in Fuquay Varina, North Carolina. We tee off and it's go time. I take a 1-up lead after 3 with a birdie on 2. Kyle comes up short here on number 4, fails to get up and down. My par is good to take down the hole. He bounces back nicely with a birdie on the par 5 5th. I'm now 1 up. We get to 6. I hit the shot of the weekend. Pin is back back left. I knock it to a foot. Birdie takes down the hole. 2 up going into 7. Kyle finds trouble off the tee, has an awkward layup shot that finds the penalty area. My par takes down the hole. We have number 8 until we get to 9 when Kyle finds trouble on his approach shot, which ends up in the penalty area. My par wins the hole, giving me a commanding 4-shot lead at the turn. I lose number 10 with bogey. We have 11 with bogeys. Kyle sticks it to a foot on 12. I don't even make him putt it. Great shot, nice birdie. I won't lie, it's a bit rattling to have a 4-up lead get cut in half after 3 holes, but I keep my eyes on the prize. I refuse to lose, and I'll never give up on the cup. I'm a rhyming machine, but I can also be a birdie machine, which is what it takes to win 13, and I regain some major momentum as we hit the final stretch. We both hit perfect tee shots on 15. I'm first to act. There's no reason to go for it at this point in the match, so I lay up. Kyle decides to go for it and hits an amazing shot onto the front left side of the green, which is quite rare to hit this hole in 2, putting some serious pressure on me. I have 109 yards out. I stick my wedge to inside the grip. He tells me to pick it up. We're in for birdie. Now we have to sweat the eagle putt. It's a really difficult putt that he ends up leaving about 6 feet short. He burns the edge on his birdie putt, giving me the win on the hole and closing out the match 4-3 for a really valuable point for the amateurs. We grab a sandwich and a beverage, head back out to the course to watch the final matches come in, and the pros are not backing off, draining putts and sticking approach shots like this one, taking down the AMs one by one until they have this putt to win the Tar Heel Cup, and he drains it. It was a great comeback by the pros, a valiant effort by the AMs, and I'm leaving here with some added motivation to have another great tournament season, to earn an invitation to play again next year for a little redemption.